All right, turning to college football. Another packed weekend of great college football action. Listen, Georgia's the number one team in the country. They're going to get Kentucky in the 3:30 CBS game. So I just, can't wait for that one. Kentucky probably just happy to be there at this point, but we'll see if they can give Georgia a run for their money. And then the number two team in the nation, Iowa, they're going to get Purdue at the same time, 3:30 on ABC. Cincinnati making their way into the top three. They're going to get Central Florida, meet the Gus Malzahns at noon on ABC. And then from there, you got Oklahoma's the fourth team right now. Will they continue to squeak by in every single game this year? Well, I guess we'll find out. It's 7:30 on ABC. I'm sure Kirk and Chris are just happy and pleased as punch to call that one. Alabama down to number 5 this week. They get Mississippi State. They should be able to get healthy against them. And then, well, I've went through all those. How about Big Noon on Fox? You got Oklahoma State and you got Texas. Texas fresh off that 18-point blown lead against Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. They should just rename the game at this point. But they'll get Mike Gundy and his hair and all that. Drink, what are you looking forward to this week?
I was looking forward to some more of that intro, but here's the deal. Listen, number one would be Kentucky and Georgia, but I'm gonna give a couple other teams some shine on my way down to it. Starting off with the Big Noon kickoff, number 12 Oklahoma State, number 25 Texas. They got Texas as a 5-point favorite. I think that's good. I would take Texas in this game outright if it wasn't for the fact that I just watched their defense kind of collapse. And I know Oklahoma State can put up some points. I know Texas got, probably the number 2 guy in the Heisman race, and if you take quarterbacks out, they got the number 1 guy in the Heisman race, and B. John Robinson. But, you got to play both sides of the ball, and we seen that last week where Texas got out and looked like world beaters, and then the defense said, hold that bill, and they hit the lawn chairs, and that was that. Like, they just let Oklahoma come and walk them back down, and they lost a very winnable game, I might add. I'm looking at this. I guess I'll take Texas, but I'm gonna take Oklahoma State to cover just because I can't believe in that defense. I'm not wasting my time with UCF and Cincinnati, but hey, that game is on at noon at ABC. They got Cincinnati as a 21-point dog, so I'm gonna leave that right where it's at. We got Arkansas number 17. We got Auburn versus number 17 Arkansas. Coming on at noon on CBS, right before the game that we really care about. So I'm looking at this game. I think Arkansas will take care of business here. I haven't seen nothing out of Auburn that just makes me think. The fact that this game is at 4.5 right now, I'm almost tempted to say this might be a tad bit disrespectful. But then I look and say, maybe Vegas don't believe in Arkansas as much as the rest of the nation. So I'm cool with that. We'll see how that goes. This game is in Fayetteville, and last time when we seen Texas roll into Fayetteville, Arkansas, we seen how that crowd got to them. So I think we could possibly see the same thing, to be perfectly honest with you. And then this game noon ESPN, number 20 Florida, 11.5 over LSU. Oh man, let me tell you something. LSU, I'm not even sure they got enough players to play this game at this point. Like Ed, you are fired, buddy. But with that said, Florida probably win this game by 14 or more points. I'm not gonna waste too much listeners' time on that. Now the game that we all want to talk about, the number 11 Kentucky going down to Athens to play the number 1 team in the nation, Georgia. They got Georgia as a 22.5-point favorite. Listen. First of all, this game is getting played on CBS at the prime time. Meaning, let's not be so disrespectful to Kentucky. I got it, it's Kentucky. I got it. 22.5. If you haven't sat down and actually watched Kentucky play, maybe you should. And you will see that they're a more competitive team than what Vegas think. I think this game comes down to 14 points. I do think Georgia is the better of the two teams, and I do think Georgia will win the game. But I do not think Georgia covers 22.5. I just don't think that. I think Kentucky covers that spread because I think this game will be, nip and tuck, and then Georgia pulls away, and like I said, about 14 points. Georgia is not – listen, they don't have the offense to just take the top off and keep rolling unless they playing UAB or Vanderbilt. If they playing like a competent, SEC team, which Kentucky is, they're not just gonna blow their doors off. So we can go ahead and get that one out the door. Coming on down, you hit Iowa and Purdue. I don't think that game is gonna be particularly competitive. I'm looking at BYU, number 19 BYU versus Baylor. They giving Baylor 6.5 in that game. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That lets me know they think BYU some frauds out here on these streets. And after last week, I kind of believe them because Boise State came in there and pushed them all over the place. So I'm definitely going to take Baylor on that one. Like you said, my boys, number 5 Alabama, come 17-point favorites over Mississippi State. We get our stuff together. We get back in this groove. We go ahead and treat Mississippi State like we should have treated Texas A&M last week. And then we get out, we keep it rolling and keep getting better, and hopefully get that showdown with Georgia. And then one more game I think going to be very, very interesting. Number 13 Ole Miss, 2.5-point favorites versus Tennessee. Mm-hmm. I know Tennessee been flopping around here for quite a long time. And they haven't really done nothing since Peyton Manning. But, well, you know what? No, because they won the championship the year later with T. Martin. So they really haven't done anything since T. Martin. And since Philip Fulmer was on the sideline doing what he do. This is going to be interesting. I think people sleeping on Tennessee. I think Tennessee is a lot better than what people think. But I will say Vegas understand that too. Because Vegas got them at 2.5. Which tells me they understand that Tennessee got some juice too. This game was the only game that I had to say that it was a pick 'em for me. I don't particularly like Ole Miss. If I had to pick a team, I'm gonna pick Ole Miss because I believe in Lane Kiffin more than I believe in Josh Heupel. I think his name is. So I'm gonna go with Ole Miss, but I think this is gonna be a very close game, and I would not be surprised if Tennessee pulled an upset and win this game, being that it's at home. They also have a stadium that holds 101, people in there, and it's gonna be rocking like a cutoff stocking, baby. So, with that said, I think that's a pick 'em. I'm gonna take Ole Miss, but those are the games that stick out to me the most in college football this weekend.
He means 101,000 people, not 101. It's I don't think college football fans care about COVID at this point. Just gotta be honest. I think first, to have this, the week overall seems a bit underwhelming to me. I think the fact that it's Kentucky, Georgia, even though Kentucky, I love what they're doing. I like watching them play. That Florida win was highly impressive. But now it's just one of those things like traditionally, when you talk about SEC football, you don't think of Kentucky.
Right.
But I mean, listen, I love what Mark Stoops has done with that program. He's made them a serious team. Unlike the likes of say, Vanderbilt. So listen, I think I do agree with you. I think Georgia don't play the style of football where they're just gonna come out and just shred you offensively to where they just run up the score. And the way Kentucky, both of these teams are very good. These could be, the best two defensive teams in the conference. Definitely Georgia. But if you had to pick maybe a second best defensive team in the SEC, you might go Kentucky at this point based on what we've seen. So I'm definitely excited for that one. It's not every day that you see Kentucky in that 3:30 CBS time slot for the SEC. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Look, Alabama. I agree with you what you said. I'm not seeing much to believe that Mississippi State is going to be able to give them much of a problem. I think Alabama, that to me, just like I talked about with Kansas City and NFL, this is a week for Alabama to kind of get healthy and just get back on track with a team that, in my opinion, is quite inferior to them. They should be able to handle Mississippi State quite easily. I think, the points, Ole Miss and Tennessee, that's one that caught my eye, just like it caught your eye. The spread is pretty tight in that one, but one thing we do know about Ole Miss, Yeah, they struggle on defense. So all the Lane Kiffin stuff, and maybe he popped a little popcorn last week because he forgot it the week before. Even though we had, hey, get your popcorn ready, and they threw the headset. You know what it was. But look, Arkansas dropped 51 on them last week. You got Sam Pittman. Thought he was going to go for 2 for the quick win. Didn't work out for him. So that's the margin of error. It's close. But I'm gonna tell you, Tennessee. We're going to find out about Tennessee because what you have the last 2 weeks, they dropped 62 on Missouri. They dropped 45 on South Carolina last week. But we know, those are not 2 of the upper echelon programs right now in the conference. The week before they played those 2 games, Florida beat them 38-14. So now you have a situation where they're going to get Ole Miss, Bama, Kentucky, and Georgia. So we're going to find out about Tennessee very quickly. This is step 1 right here. They should have a chance. They should have a chance to score a lot of points. I think you could have a situation where it's just like it was between Arkansas and Ole Miss last week. I think there's a lot of points. Both teams could cross 50 in that one if I'm being honest with you. And then I'm looking at, just to close it out, TCU and Oklahoma. I'm not budging on this one. I don't want to see nothing of Spencer Rattler. I don't want to see it. Get Caleb Williams in the game. I think that might be the thing. That might be the spark that Oklahoma needs to stop being in these one possession games to where we're looking at them and saying, you guys are not for real. Because that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm seeing right now with Spencer Rattler. They don't appear to be a playoff team with him back there under center or pistoling or shotgunning or whatever Lincoln Riley's doing. This Caleb Williams dude, there's a different feel when he gets in the game. I want to see more of him.